So welcome back to Fast and Car Curious. Today, as you saw by the title of the video, I'm driving the Jaguar XE S. Another Jaguar. I can hear you say, well, this one was available. And actually, this one is a really good choice because I've tested some crazy sports cars and I've tested some sporting saloons, remember the XFS in particular. And this promises to be a blend of them both. So this XE has that special S at the end of its title, which means it's a 3 litre, and this particular one is a 3 litre supercharged petrol. In fact, the same engine from the F-Type, or at least the base F-Type, so it chucks out 340 horsepower, and if you like your numbers, it's 450 newton meter torque, and does the 60 in 4.9, so it's very fast. And yet, you can see behind me, 5 seats, big boot, comfortable cruiser, and so on. So it offers an interesting blend, doesn't it, of high performance, hopefully some noise, and then also the ability to cruise and carry 5 people in comfort. So this might appeal to you if the idea of having 2 cars is impossible and having one car that's just a nutcase sports car doesn't work for you either. Maybe a car of this type would be suitable. So yes, we're going to look at the outside and the inside of it, and then we're going to drive it some to see what we can make of it. So I'll be driving through some different kinds of roads. I've got some motorway to do today. I've got the Peak District to go through, and then later on up through the Yorkshire Dales and into Northumberland. So that promises to be quite a road trip with some very different kinds of roads. So actually, again, should give us a real good flavour for the car. So let's now have a look at the outside. Then come on to the inside of the car and see what we think, and then finally get it out on the open road. So here we have the outside of the XES. I love the front. It's quite aggressive looking. Remember that from the XFS. Very similar, family look now. Down the sides, I'm not sure what you make of the colour. Dark blue wouldn't have been my choice. Standard wheels, all right. Much prefer the 20-inch propellers, which look fantastic on this car. I've driven one with them on, and it was fine. Not too much noise. And a bit of sun glare there, sorry about that. Back of the car, bit Audi A5, but very nice, eh? And a reversing camera, I don't know if you can see it there, but it looks good. It's a good looking car. Bit dirty, sorry about that. That's my driving in the rain this morning. But it looks good, it's very well proportioned. Nice put together. Are you liking the red brake calipers? But it's a nice design. It's a very nice design. I actually prefer it in the red, the Italian racing red, but not too bad in this metallic blue colour. Very nice indeed. And the all-important S badge. Yeah. So leave some comments. Let me know what you think about the design of the car. Better looking than the BMW 3? I reckon it is. Let's have a look on the inside of the car now. Okay, so the inside, the interior of the car. Well, this is very familiar. If you remember my videos about the F-Type, pretty much the same steering wheel, same instrument binnacle, and the central section here is brilliant. This is very well made. The infotainment system, having driven this for a few hours now, very fast, very slick, very easy to use, very intuitive. I like this a lot, and actually I would say it's a good deal better than the system in my 2014 Audi A6, which is high praise in itself. Very nicely made, but I've got a couple of problems. Well, firstly, a cosmetic one. Blue leather. Why? It's horrible. So this is a dark blue car. It's got dark blue and black leather. Really don't like it. And then my second point is about styling, which is the air vent piece here. What is that doing, kind of swooping into the door? No, I don't like it. I think it looks a bit miserable, like a glum looking character of some sort. Yep, don't like that bit particularly. And then I have got some problems with material quality. So you know what I'm going to say about the switches. If you remember from my F-Type and XF videos, those window buttons are horrible. Really kind of scratchy, horrible plastic, as is some of this plastic here. The door grab is circa 1980 Ford Escort, I reckon. really scratchy, hard plastic, which I really don't like at all. That's it really. That's not too bad, surely. The rest is very well made indeed. You know, it's good quality, as you'd hope. Definitely, certainly the kind of central parts and the instrument binnacle, Audi standard and then some, I would say. Very, very nicely made. Very good. But to hell with all that. This is what it's really about, right? Let's start the thing up. Let's get some noise out of it. Not as noisy as the F-Type. You get a nice growl. And you saw the needle sweep as the electrics come on, which is very nice. Now what I would also say is this central graphic in the middle, very nice. Very high resolution, very high quality. Looks very, very nice indeed. I liked it a lot. So again, good attention to detail, Jaguar, like that a lot. Just some issues with, well, firstly me leaving the audio on, and then secondly, just some of the quality of the plastics down here. This scratchy plastic does not belong in a prestige car costing 45,000 quid. And yeah, that design part there with the dashboard being very low and swooping into the door, I don't like that at all. That looks horrible. Really, really horrible. But you know, that's probably a personal choice. And yeah, we've got seats in the back. We have access to seats in the back. Legroom's not too bad, I don't think. That passenger seat's all the way back. But you know, we can live with it. And the infotainment system is pretty quick. I like the way it works, very intuitive. And we have voice. There's a little button here, takes care of all that. We can do voice control for almost everything in the car. Very, very good. And of course the rising gear selector, which you might say is a bit of a gimmick, but you know, I think it's quite cool. I quite like that. But I'm a bit of a gadget geek, right, obviously. And down here we've got selectors for the dynamic mode, which of course you need to be in all the time. Of course not, that'd be childish. And the rest of it here. So yeah, nice graphics, nicely made. Very, very nice indeed. And to that central point again, you can see that as I select dynamic mode, it all goes red. A bit of drama. Very nicely done. So, let's get the thing on the road, shall we? So gear changes, just like the F-Type, this car has the 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox, and yeah, no double clutch malarkey, but very quick, even under load when you're really giving it some. The gear changes are seamless, you can't feel them. Anyway, you know the gearbox has changed. It's a slight engine note change, and you see that rev counter needle moves slightly. Gearbox is fantastic. Now, I've driven some far more expensive cars than this one with terrible gearboxes. This is a work of art, and mated to this 3-litre V6. It's a fantastic combination, and it does feel exactly like the F-Type in that respect. And the engine note, it struck me a minute ago that the engine note is exactly like the F-Type when the F-Type's in normal drive mode. So even when this is in sport, this is not quite the same. Am I sounding enthusiastic, everybody? Because I'm loving this. This is such a great car to drive, and it's an executive saloon. Keep telling yourself that. I have to. It's a 5-seat family car with the engine out of the F-Type in it. By Christ, does it go? It's a corker, everybody. An absolute bloody corker. And the more I drive it, the more and more I love it. There are some bits that can be better, that interior thing I talked about, but who cares? Those are things they'll develop, I suppose, as time goes by. Don't run over the teenagers. Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, I have actually driven the BMW 435i, and it's a good car, very nicely made. The interior has no cheap plastics like this one does, but the drive in this car is better, and I'll tell you for why. Mostly because the steering in this car, you can feel the road beneath you. In the BMW, utterly disconnected, can't feel a thing. And the BMW suspension, absolutely rock hard. I don't know whether I had an M Sport, and I'm told that if you specify air suspension it's much better and blah blah blah. This car doesn't have air suspension. It's a beautiful ride, compliant, makes it comfortable, yet through the corners sticks like glue. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's get some of the looks on my face driving this crazy car. Bloody hell, that is powerful. So I'm still here in the Yorkshire Dales. Some beautiful twisty roads. It's dry, sun's out. 340 horsepower to the back wheels. This car is bloody brilliant. So it's bloody brilliant. So why is it brilliant? Well, I'll tell you for why. I've got 340 horsepower, very swift gearbox. Some of the noises of the F-Type, which are great, and it handles well. Very comfortable, handles well. That's a good blend, isn't it? I've got the power and the pace of the Porsche Cayman, more or less, and yet the comfort of a family saloon. So maybe this is a good blend. This is a car that you call a Jekyll and Hyde. It can be a nut job when you want it to be, and yet I can turn it into normal drive, and there we go. Normal, very comfortable car, no drama if I don't want it. Whereas the Porsche is a sports car all the time. It's hard. It's built to go around corners as fast as possible, like we said in the last video. But to make it that way, the suspension's rock hard, and you feel every bump in the road, and it's always that way. You can't change it. Some Porsches offer that capability with changeable suspension. That's okay, it's good. But I doubt it's ever as compliant as this car. Yeah, the Porsche is built for one particular job. This is trying to do a couple of different things. Back into sport mode. Bit of I was about to do conclusions, but then I found this bit of road. This car has to be driven on the edge, and it is, and I'm on the edge. You can't really see because the camera's pointing at me and not, but there's a sheer cliff to my right. This car sticks like glue. I mean, the roads are dry today, which is great. I've got the window slightly open, so the wind noise is a bit high, sorry, but I want you to hear what 7,500 revs sounds like in a 3-litre V6. And I'm actually in first gear to get around some of these corners. It's a first gear corner. So tight. Oh god. It revs so well for a V6. I don't know who built this engine, but give him a knighthood. Take one off a sportsman and give it to the design of this engine, because it is absolutely fantastic. Whoa. Brakes are starting to fade a bit now, I have to take it easy. Yeah, I might have to take it easy, I said. Right, okay. My God, what a road and what a car. Let's put the window up. Conclusions. So, my conclusions of this car are that, maybe as I hoped, it is a real Jekyll and Hyde. It can do the cruise on the motorway. I'm now about to get on the M6 and cruise down it for an hour and a half or so to get home. And based on yesterday's drive on the motorway, fantastically comfortable. Seats are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I drove this car for nearly 8 hours yesterday in total, and got out the other end, felt great. That was a bit on and off driving, but nonetheless, 8 hours of driving in a single day. Very, very comfortable, very good. So it does the exec saloon thing brilliantly well. Just on that though, if it is a company car, you'll be parting with £500 a month in benefit in kind, because it's CO2 and all that. But if it's on your list, I'd say it was probably worth it. But aside from that, flick the selector into dynamic, gearbox into sport, and just an animal. It absolutely loves to be revved, and because the handling is so good, it loves it. It copes really well. I can't believe that an exec saloon that has to have suspension of a certain kind, you know, for comfort, will stick to the road this well. And these aren't the really big wheels either, so these are the standards. But you can upgrade to 20-inch propeller alloys, which you've seen on most of the press cars probably on the internet, which look sensational and are slightly wider as well. So the grip gets even better with those. So yeah, it does all those things really well. I can almost forgive the funny slopey dashboard thing, which I still absolutely hate Jaguar, and the funny blue leather. Now the blue leather, I've been thinking about this last night, and it suddenly came to me that the blue leather is going to be called Hillman Avenger Blue from now on, because it's exactly the same shade of blue as the plastic seats in my uncle's Hillman Avenger estate from 1976. So that's where it came from. It's hideous. But anyway, apart from that, a fabulous, fabulous car. Absolutely love it. So if you've got 45 grand knocking about, then why not? What I would add is, given its executive saloon looks, is it makes for a brilliant Q car. And if you don't know what a Q car is, it's a car that looks really, really boring, but goes like you know what off a shovel for that exact purpose, which is, as I've experienced over the last couple of days, people at the traffic lights and their hot hatches, and you know, the kids that stick massive exhausts on silly cars and whatever else, taking me on at the traffic lights. They see the S badge on the back, and this has battered everything. Golf R yesterday, 300 horsepower. Some kid nodding at me, taking me on, so off the lights. Yeah, did it. Didn't break the speed limit. Stopped when I hit 40, but off the lights, no problem. So it's crackers when it needs to be. So it's a great Q car. Nobody expects it to do quite what it does. So it doesn't draw as much attention as F-Types and Porsches. But anyway, yeah, 45 grand until you start ticking the options list. And as options rack up, this car's got a few of them on, like lane assist and self-parking and all that other stuff, which starts to add on thousands. If those things are important so you can afford it, then why not? What I would definitely recommend is an extended test drive. So I'm still gutted this car does not blip the throttle on the downshifts. It really should do, and the same engine and drive train do it in the F-Type. So why it doesn't? So I changed down a couple of gears like that, and all you hear is the engine note rise. You don't hear the blip. You do hear that nice supercharger whine. So yeah, there's a few bits that, if only it did, right? But yeah, anyway, test drive it for an extended period. A day would be ideal if Jaguar will part with them for a day. If not, you can rent these things from Avis and Hertz, and it might cost you a few £100. But I've grown to absolutely love this car. Funny dashboard, funny blue leather withstanding, because it is such a master of all that it's supposed to do. Yeah, I've been really impressed with this car, as you can probably tell. So yeah, my conclusion is A1 car, absolutely brilliant. Well done, Jaguar. I can see why in all the car testing, what car and so on, it beat BMW. There are millions of BMW 3 Series in the UK. Now, you might not know that there are more 3 Series BMW sold in the UK every year than Mondeos. Very common, and this looks better, I think. Again, personal choice. So it's a different option. Definitely try one. Give it a go. Give it a go for an extended period, and I think you'll like it a lot. I certainly have. Absolutely loved every minute of it. So I've got to give it back, which I don't really want to do, but I suppose I should. So yes, I recommend the Jaguar XE S to anybody who's on the lookout for a powerful sporting saloon. If you can't have a second car that's really crackers like the Porsche Cayman, then this might be a good blend for you. Okay, so I think that's probably my conclusions done, really. That brings us to the end of the test of the Jaguar XE S. I've had a great time. So thank you for watching, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up. I think that's a thumbs up, or that way around for you maybe, can't remember. Please to support me in my mission to test cars and show you the results on my channel. I'd really appreciate it. There's a little link below to subscribe as well, if you don't mind. Leave some comments too. I don't get many comments, apart from the odd crude one. But let me know what you think, what you like and what you don't like. I'll start to include your ideas in my next video. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hopefully I'll catch up with you again very soon. Thanks everyone, bye now.